Okay, this one's a little bit different. This one is an MVR440 Magnavox 4-head mono VCR. That means it's not a hi-fi stereo VCR. It's just a plain Jane VCR. The complaint is that it eats tapes. Let's go ahead and get it open, pop a tape in it, and see what happens. All right, got the top off. Taking a look inside. It's not that much different than the ZV427/457s that you've seen me work on plenty of times before. This one just doesn't have the DVD recorder built into it. So it looks good. The mechanism is pretty clean. I don't see a lot of defects in here. The heads look pretty good. They're not too terribly dirty or anything. Doesn't look like it's got a lot of hours on it. So let's go ahead and power it up, put a tape in it, and see what it does. I'm betting mode select switch on this one more than anything else. Okay, power is on. Let's put a tape in it and see what happens. Well, it loaded the tape just fine. Let's hit play and see what happens. Nothing, it shut down. That's an indication of a mode select switch. Power back on. Yep. Ooh, that's not good. It doesn't know where it is. Let's get the tape out. We'll get the door open. I'll go ahead and reel the tape back in here. There we go. Let's go ahead and start by taking this thing apart and cleaning the mode select switch and see if that makes any difference. Okay, so on one of these little units, just go ahead and pop the front off. It's got those 4 claw tabs on the front and then 3 more on the bottom. And then the front can be taken off. There's no connections on this one, no input jacks that are attached as part of the front panel. We'll take out 5 screws that hold the mechanism down. Put those in your egg carton container so you don't get them mixed up. Loosen the cord, and everything should lift straight up out of this unit. There we go. So the bottom is completely detached from the unit right now. Now we'll flip the unit back over. You'll find 2 screws here. So remember, one is a machine thread. That goes here. The other one is a coarse, almost like a sheet metal screw. That one goes here into the plastic. Do not get those confused. Now very carefully flip the unit back over, and then you can actually lift this up. And you can tip it up just enough to get to the mode select switch right here. Okay, so there is the mode select switch. I'm just holding the mechanism up. There's the bottom of the mechanism. And so just go ahead and just grab this and gently lift up on it. It should unsnap. There are the wipers. There is the switch. So just go ahead and get your stainless steel toothbrush and just go ahead and scrub that switch. All right, there it is. So next I'm going to wipe it out with a cotton swab with some magical solution of acetone. Then we'll go ahead and clean the wiper contacts on the rotary portion as well. Okay, here we go. I've got a cotton swab moistened with acetone. Just want to go ahead and clean all the contacts in here. Do not worry, the acetone will not eat this type of plastic. All right, look at that switch. Oh my goodness, it looks brand spanking new. Let's go ahead and clean the rotary portion now. So very gently in one direction only, I'm just going to go ahead and clean the sliding wipers and then wipe them off with some acetone. I don't know if you can tell, but they're super shiny. They should make great contact now. Next, I'm going to go ahead and apply some dielectric grease to the fixed portion, and then we'll snap the rotary portion back into it, run it around a few times, and fire this up and see if it makes a difference. Okay, here we go. I've got some dielectric grease on the end of a cotton swab, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to the stationary contacts. Make sure I've got a good covering of it. Try to wipe up all the hairs that I can. Next, just position the switch in place. snap it back into place. Then we'll run it around several times. That distributes the grease on the contacts. Next, see that little dot right up there? I need to position the rotary encoder in that position so that it meshes with the hole that's in this gear. This is the main transfer gear for the mechanism. So that little hole right here, right there, needs to line up with this pin. So I'm going to put it back together and we'll see if we get favorable results. So I'll hit the power switch right here. Let's go ahead and pop a tape into it and see what happens. It's going to load just like before. And it's playing. That's awesome. It did not shut down. Let's go ahead and eject it. Make sure it does not eat the tape. I almost said make sure it eats the tape. Perfect. So let's go ahead and clean the real rotation sensor, the prism, the supply and take up photodiodes. And then I think this unit will be back on the road again. Plus we'll do a tape path cleaning real quickly as well. Okay, so I'm going to shoot this one from a different angle so you can see exactly what's going on. I'm going to pull out this one screw. I'm going to lift the prism assembly out of the way completely. We'll get to that in just a moment. And just for the sake of ease, I'm going to go ahead and pull this slotted gear out of the way. So I'm going to grab a regular cotton swab and I'm going to strip a bunch of the cotton off of each end of it. Okay, so next I've moistened the cotton swab of the stripped end, and this is the easy one. I'm going to clean the infrared emitter, which is down in here. Now this one's the one you have to strip the cotton swab for. This is the infrared detector for the real rotation portion. I'm going to dry it with the dry end. Dry both of those off really good. And then with the moistened end, I'm going to go ahead and clean the input of the prism and the output right here. This little tab is the output of the prism. And then just to be safe, I'm going to wipe off the center and the sides. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. Next, I'll put the gear back in place, put the prism back in place, and we'll put the screw back in place. So the way this works is the infrared emitter sits under the main stalk of the prism. So it shines light up through the prism and it deflects it to the left to this side and to the right to that side. The left is the supply sensor, the right is the take-up sensor. It also sends a little bit down this path right here. And how this operates is this gear that has slots cut in it makes and breaks the photo beam to the infrared receiver. And that way it knows that the real rotation is actually happening. So if it doesn't detect real rotation within about 3 seconds, it's going to shut the unit down. So if you have a machine that plays for a few seconds and then stops, go ahead and clean those sensors and see if that takes care of it. I've had a few of these come through and they've been so gunked up that it wouldn't play a tape more than about 3 or 4 seconds, then it would shut down. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and clean the supply and take up photo sensors. So with the moistened end of a regular cotton swab, just go ahead and wipe off the supply sensor, dry it off, and the same thing over here, the take up photo sensor, and go ahead and dry it off. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and get the magical solution acetone out. There it is right there. And we'll go ahead and clean the entire tape path. Anything that makes contact with the tape, I want to go ahead and clean. Let me just preface this cleaning once again with the statement that yes, you can use acetone to clean every part of the tape path, even the video heads. And I'm going to clean in a horizontal motion, back and forth only. And when I clean the heads, I don't use the tip of the cotton swab, I use the shaft of the cotton swab. So now you need to pay particular attention to where the heads are. You can always tell where the heads are by these 2 Allen set screws on the top of the drum. The head will be a little cutout right there. That's the actual video head. And you can see where I've been cleaning, not down here, but up here on the shaft itself. Okay, so here we go, final cleaning. Okay, so the entire tape path has been cleaned. The entrance tape guide, the full erase head over here, the angle guides, the back tension arm, the other angle guide, and of course the video cylinder has been cleaned. It had a lot of gunk on it for some reason, but look at that. The heads and the cylinder are absolutely spotless at this point. The lower drum assembly has been cleaned. There is the audio control erase head, absolutely spotless. The exit tape guide, the pinch roller, the capstan, and the exit arm. Everything has been completely cleaned. It's ready to go back together now. Okay, now we should be able just to slide this back into the case very easily. Just got to get things lined up here. Look at that. Okay, there it is, back in the case. So let's go ahead and put the 5 screws back in here. We'll snap the front back on this unit. We'll go to a final test and hook it up to the monitor. Okay, all the screws are back in. I'm ready to put the front panel back on it. Now make sure when you snap the front panel on it that you pay particular attention to this arm right here. This arm is what lifts the door right there. It lifts the door up, and it has to go into this little slot right here. And so the easiest way to do this is simply hold the door open. While you're holding the door open, snap the front panel back in place, just like that. Okay, all back together. Let's pop a tape in it. Let's hit play. Let me get you over to the monitor so you can see the video. Okay, there it is, up and playing. So it looks good. It's playing the video back perfectly. I do hear some audio, although it's too low for you guys to understand. Anyhow, it's working absolutely perfect. Just needed a mode select switch cleaning. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video. It really does help my channel grow. Remember, you can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at NorCal715. You can email me, norcal715videos@gmail.com. Go ahead and leave me a question, a comment, a concern down below. I try to read all the comments and respond when I have time. Remember, with your help, we can try to keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.